What's going on, guys? This is David here, and I figured I'd make a new video because obviously there's some things that we have to talk about. So first off, I want to say the reason why I haven't made a new tutorial about this, because obviously you guys are probably like, whoa, like, if this is in the title, why hasn't there been any videos about it? Well, the reason why is because actually the device that I'm using to record right now is my iPhone 6s, and I have a TSMC iPhone 6s. Now, the iPhone 6s without the TSMC, the other chipset, is able to be jailbroken, but the one with the TSMC isn't. If you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, the iPhone 6s has two different chipsets, a TSMC version and a chipset by Samsung. Chipset by Samsung actually seems to be working with this, and theoretically the chip with the TSMC model should work as well, but there's bug in the code to make it not work. So what am I talking about? So about a week and a half ago, probably somewhere around there, a little while ago, Luca Todesco actually dropped an iOS 10.1 through 10.1.1 jailbreak. Now, you guys are probably like mind-boggled right now if you haven't heard about this. You guys are probably like, what? It's Luca Todesco. Luca Todesco never ends up releasing anything. Well, Google Project Zero, who is a security research type of team, basically their initiative is they are supposed to basically find these bugs and these exploits and these vulnerabilities in different things, such as they were doing Google Chrome, they were doing maybe Firefox, they were going for other companies, and maybe they were working on Android stuff, and their iOS division actually dropped a exploit for iOS 10.1 through 10.1.1. The difference is that only had root shell and read-only access. So Cydia was not installable, and you couldn't even rewrite anything. The only thing that you could do with that was view the file system. You couldn't edit the file system. You could just view it and see everything that was there. So that's cool for people that, I don't know, maybe are technical and want to see what is in the file system if they don't know, but they can't edit it. And that doesn't mean anything for us users because we can't really do anything because Cydia isn't installable. And even if Cydia was, installable, it would just, you could sideload Cydia, I believe, but you wouldn't be able to do anything with it. So not much was actually done with this because it just didn't really do much for us. And this is just separate. But Luca basically just tweeted out before that happened that if Project Zero actually goes and releases anything, he's going to try to build and release on top of that. And he actually did. So what he did was he took the Project Zero exploit that was publicly released and he built on top of that and then released a jailbreak for it. So this jailbreak is kind of different. It's different than we've seen in a long time. This is a beta jailbreak. So a lot of people were like, well, what's that? Because for a main number of years, we've had the Evaders release, we've had Pangu release, we've had Taiji release, and those are fairly stable jailbreaks. When they actually come out publicly, they're, public versions of the jailbreak. There might be some initial problems, but there's Cydia, you can install tweaks. Sure, there might be some issues here and there, but it's always been where you have Cydia, you can install it, and you can get tweaks right off the bat, and there's no really, issue with that. So basically, the initial jailbreak disabled Substrate by default, and the reasoning for that is because Luca actually basically just said that it could cause harm, and he just didn't think that the jailbreak was ready for that yet. But obviously, there were ways to go ahead and enable Substrate, and IJAP, who is somebody on Twitter. Again, I just want to say, if you guys don't have a Twitter, please, for your own benefit, make a Twitter. I decided to make this video because I know not everybody that watches me on YouTube has a Twitter. So for, out of your respect, I wanted to tell you guys what's been going on because I haven't made any videos about it. So if you don't follow really any other jailbreak YouTubers, then you're not going to know about it because I haven't been providing you guys any news on YouTube about it. So I do apologize, but I do just want to say, please, if you can, if you don't already have a Twitter, please make a Twitter and follow certain people. Follow me at JailbreakBuster on Twitter and at The Apple Attack on Twitter as well, because at JailbreakBuster, I'm super active on, and anything that happens with the jailbreak, I will go ahead and detail and tell you guys about. But basically, so what happened was, there's this guy on Twitter named IJAP. There's a little bit of history with that. he seems to maybe be releasing a jailbreak at some point for 10.2 iPhone 7, possibly. We don't know if that's 100% true, but I have talked to him in DMs before, and it seems like maybe he might come out with something. But regardless of that, IJAP actually came out with a substrate fix, he called it, which basically just re-enabled substrate. There was an icon where it said substrate fix on the home screen. You tap it, then it resprings, and you have substrate working on your phone. So this happened, and Luca got upset, and Luca basically was just like, I'm going to, in the next beta, enable substrate myself, and it's going to be cleaner, and he did, and the beta that he released with that was broken. So anyway, what does all this mean? So this is a beta release. So next up, we're going to be assuming a gamma release. So he has teased the gamma release a couple times on Twitter, and initially before, he's at this conference called, I think it's like 33C3. I think that's what it's called. It's in Germany, and it's a pretty interesting conference. It's a hacking conference. It talks all about, there was actually a talk, which I'll put down below in the description. It's pretty cool. It's about the Pegasus malware, and this guy, Max, whatever his last name is, from Fried Apple Team, he actually co-founded Fried Apple Team, and he does a talk at 33C3 about the Pegasus malware, which is actually pretty cool. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. It's pretty interesting. You know, some of you, it might go right over your head. I'm trying to, you know, comprehend it. It goes kind of over my head too, but he gives kind of an interesting analysis about the Pegasus malware, about how it's being exploited, all that. If you're unfamiliar with the Pegasus malware was a malware that worked all the way from, I believe it was like iOS 7 all the way up from 9.3.5. And basically, it could jailbreak the device in the background and do things like turn on the microphone, turn on the camera, all this stuff without your knowledge. And it was just like a creepy malware. And so that got fixed and patched on 9.3.5. But he talks about how people were able to go ahead and exploit that and how it was actually, you know, working. So regardless of that, though, this jailbreak is in the beta stage right now. And Luca is at 33C3, and it extends from, I believe it started the 27th all the way till the 30th. So we were supposed to get the gamma release either during that or at some point after. But then basically Luca just tweeted out that he forgot to copy the code of the jailbreak from his MacBook, I guess, to whatever MacBook he was using to come to the event with. So it's delayed until he gets home, which will likely be the 30th or maybe the day after. So that's when you could basically expect to see the gamma. Now, the gamma is going to be more stable than the beta. Is it going to be the final release? We're not there yet. We're not there to the final release at this point yet, but we will be hopefully soon. But he has kind of showed and teased on Twitter. It's got like an interesting app icon, and I think there's even a mixtape with it. I'm not sure if it does that while you're jailbreaking, but he showed like 3D touch icons, and it said like mixtape player and then start jailbreak or whatever. I forget exactly what it said, but it was cool. But anyway, so yeah, so the final release should happen maybe in the next couple months. But yeah, so I wanted to go ahead and detail that for you guys. So iOS 10.1 through 10.1.1, the jailbreak is out, and you can actually get tweaks and make them work on your iOS 10.1 through 10.1.1 device. Now, you guys are probably wondering, well, why haven't you made any videos about that? The reason is, and why haven't you made any tutorials on showing how to jailbreak? The reason is because, like I said, I have an iPhone 6S. I actually updated it to iOS 10.1.1 literally like the day or two, I think it was like either the day or 2 days before iOS 10.1 and 10.1.1 stopped being signed. So I got extremely lucky with that. Now the jailbreak does support iPhone 6S, but it doesn't support my chipset, which is the issue. There's a bug in the code that just doesn't support it. And hopefully, I think he's working on a fix, and when he drops that fix, I'll make sure to obviously drop my tutorial. I can't make my tutorial because I have an iPod 6th generation on iOS 9.0.2. I mean, it's kind of old at this point, and even if I wanted to make it on that, and I wanted to update it, and I did update it with enough time, and I could get on 10.1.1, his code, I don't even think supports the iPod Touch 6th generation right now, although Ian Beer's exploit, the Google Project Zero exploit that was released, does support the iPod Touch 6th generation. But anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. I wanted to just kind of update you guys on what was going on with the jailbreak, And, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter at the Jailbreak Buster, at Jailbreak Buster. I meant to say at Jailbreak Buster and at the Apple Attack. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, this is David signing out. Peace.